In the Dragon Ball franchise, Piccolo is one of my favorite characters. He started out as a demonic villain and eventually went on to become the heroic badass we all know today. However, along the way, Piccolo has had his share of losses, and some of them have been downright embarrassing. So in this video, I'm going to break down the 5 most embarrassing Piccolo losses. Number 5. Piccolo loses to 3rd form Frieza. Now the first loss on this list is largely embarrassing because Piccolo could have won this fight. After Piccolo merged with the Namekian warrior Nail, he was stronger than ever, and when he showed up to fight 2nd form Frieza, it soon became apparent that he had the advantage. Piccolo was stronger and faster than Frieza at this point, so it's entirely possible that he could have won. However, Piccolo decided to mess around with Frieza too long, and it cost him. Because once Frieza transformed into his 3rd form, Piccolo's power became irrelevant, and he was quickly defeated. Had Piccolo beaten Frieza here, a lot of problems could have been avoided in the future, but instead, he suffered an embarrassing loss. Number 4. Piccolo loses to Imperfect Cell. This is another fight which falls into the same category as the last one. After reuniting with Kami, Piccolo was more powerful than Goku, Vegeta, and Imperfect Cell, and Piccolo was the first one to encounter Cell as well. During their fight, Piccolo could have defeated Cell, however instead he decided to play a ruse to figure out who exactly Cell was. And while this was smart, it allowed Cell the time to escape and absorb more people. Shortly after this, Piccolo had an awesome fight with Android 17. However, while this fight was cool, it allowed Cell to hone in on Piccolo's power and get right to 17. And when Cell appeared, he was far stronger than before and easily defeated Piccolo. First, he punched Piccolo so hard it broke his neck, and then second, he blasted him through the stomach and threw him into the water. Had Piccolo killed Cell when he had the chance, Cell would have never absorbed the androids or got as powerful as he did. However, Piccolo once again stalled, and it resulted in another embarrassing loss. Number 3. Piccolo quits against Shin. The next loss was really embarrassing more in hindsight than at the time, because Piccolo not only lost here, but he gave up without a fight. Now, while Supreme Kai was being built up to be a powerful character here, and Piccolo was aware of his higher status as a god, it still makes Piccolo seem weak because of what happened next, as Supreme Kai would go on to appear afraid of weaklings, and be shown to be not only weaker than Vegeta and Goku, but also totally incompetent. So Piccolo not only losing to this moron, but giving up without a fight makes him look even worse. And since this was the last arc of Z, and Piccolo did barely anything of use for the remainder, it didn't leave a good lasting impression of him on audiences. Number 2. Piccolo loses to a bug. So what's worse than Piccolo losing to Shin? Well, it would have to be Piccolo losing to a bug. As in Dragon Ball Super episode 119, Piccolo was attacked by a seemingly invisible opponent who knocked him out of the ring and eliminated him. However, it was soon revealed that this fighter was not invisible, but rather a tiny bug, and Piccolo simply couldn't see him. Now this is just stupid. After all these badass fights Piccolo has just been in, and after eliminating a bunch of people, Piccolo loses to a bug, and one that isn't even on his level, all because he was too small to see? Piccolo has been shown to be dumb before, but this really may have been a new low for him, and easily one of the most embarrassing losses he ever had. But there can only be one most embarrassing loss, and that is number 1. Piccolo loses to Chopsticks. Well, there's only one that could have taken this spot, and that goes to Piccolo losing to Chopsticks. Now, while this was eventually changed in Dragon Ball Super, when Piccolo and the other Z fighters attempted to stop an angry Beerus in Battle of Gods, they were met with quite a surprise, as Beerus totally decimated all of them. However, the most embarrassing of these losses came when Piccolo took his turn. Beerus blocked Piccolo's attack, and with Chopsticks in hand, quickly hit Piccolo in his pressure points, rendering him unconscious. While the other Piccolo losses on this list may have been embarrassing, the sight of Piccolo with his eyes faded and drool dripping from his mouth as he collapses may never be topped. and that is why Piccolo losing to Chopsticks is number 1 on this list. So what do you think are the most embarrassing Piccolo losses? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you like this content, subscribe to this channel and enable notifications so you can see all of my content right away when it comes out. And as I always say, stick around because there's a lot more to come in the future. Make sure to subscribe to this channel and enable notifications so you can see all of my content right away when it comes out.
Yeah, and you better subscribe, enable those damn notifications.